stubble burning of crop residue is one of the major sources of air pollution in our country, especially if we consider the NCR states like Punjab, Haryana, Western UP, some part of Rajasthan. It is estimated that they burn approximately 35 million ton of crop residue from their paddy fields as stubble burning. And the reason being, it is considered one of the cheapest method to clean the field after the harvesting season, because the short time availability after the rice harvesting season and showing of next crop, this is the easiest solution available to remove the crop. And that's why the pollution is one of the biggest problem in northern and northwestern states. But we normally point out the stubble burning and thereby pollution of environment in northern and northwestern states. But as per the different data available, the stubble burning is also present in other states, maybe in a lesser degree, and Maharashtra is no exception of that. At the same time, we must remember that pollution is not something, especially if we talk of air pollution, it is not something which is restricted to a particular district or a particular state. Pollution or air pollution caused by something, or maybe burning by stubble in this particular case, that can travel over a distance of say 1,000 kilometers, and that can pollute the environment or the air of another state which is situated far, far away from the originating place. And that's why we can consider that it is not restricted to district, not restricted to state, even not restricted to country. It's really a global issue. Ministry of Power, Government of India has taken some serious steps to reduce the pollution, and with that purpose in mind, this national mission on use of biomass in thermal power plant has been constituted in July 2021. The name of this mission has also been rechristened as Samarth, that we call it, that is the acronym of our mission. The full form is Sustainable Agrarian Mission for Use of Agro Residue in Thermal Power Plants. That is basically the objective of this particular mission, where we have got twofold objective, mainly broadly. One is reducing the pollution due to stubble burning and reducing carbon footprint from the existing coal-fired thermal power plants. Reaching 500 gigawatt non-fossil energy by 2030, and also the reduction of carbon intensity of the economy by 45% by 2030 over the 2005 level, where some of the national commitments as per the Panchamrit, which is shown by our Honorable Prime Minister, for energy transition in COP26, where these were one of the two purposes. And biomass firing, at the same time, we must remember that biomass firing has also been recognized by UNFCCC as a net zero or renewable source of energy. So if we club these things together, we can understand that biomass co-firing we can consider as a renewable power generation, which can be done with the existing setup of conventional power plants, that is the thermal power plants. So from the existing setup, we can generate renewable power. This is the unique for biomass co-firing. To further promote biomass co-firing in thermal power plants, revised biomass policy has also been issued by Ministry of Power, which says that 5% biomass co-firing is to be done by 1 year from the date of issue of that policy, which was done in October 2021, and also 7% co-firing 1 year after that. That was the broad guidelines. After that, the mission has taken some of the steps which would enable this biomass co-firing in the country. The first was issue of model contract, long-term model contract. It was a 7 years contract. The reason being, for setting new pellet manufacturing plants, they would require the guarantee of a long-term supply. So that's why this model contract was formulated. That will definitely boost the new entrepreneurs. After that, the standard operating procedure for all generating companies was also issued in 2021. Earlier, there was apprehension about whether the biomass can be co-fired in thermal power plants, whether there would be any problem, whether there will be operational problem or other issues. So keeping that in mind and keeping the experience of the initial plants who have done this co-firing, especially NTPC plants, this particular standard operating procedure has been issued to all the thermal power generators or all the power plants in particular. We have been carrying out the awareness programs across the country so that this particular, being a new subject, this particular communication can be given to all the stakeholders, to the farmers, to the pellet manufacturers, and most importantly, the GENCOs. Till date, we have organized 41 numbers of awareness programs, the last being in Delhi in 24th March. In fact, that was the first time done in Delhi. Otherwise, we have been doing it in different states. We have already covered 17 states where these thermal power plants are located. And special emphasis, I must say that special emphasis has been given to Maharashtra only. In Maharashtra, prior to this, we have conducted 4 number of awareness programs at different areas. One was at Nagpur, Nasik, Solapur and Mauda. The biomass co-firing has also been boosted as it has already been included in the Union Budget Speech of 2022, which is really helping the cause. If we take some numbers, today the total biomass production in our country is approximately 750 million metric ton per year, and out of that it is estimated that approximately 230 million metric ton is surplus. So this 230 million metric ton can be used for any meaningful purpose. And now if we take the power stations in the country, for 5% co-firing it would require not less than 35 million metric ton of pellet. And if we remove the wastage, approximately 25% safely, 25% wastage from the raw biomass to the biomass pellet, that means 50 million metric ton of biomass can be utilized for 5% co-firing if we can extend it to 10% even, which is technically possible today. So it will lead to 100 million metric ton. Please consider that figure again with the surplus figure of 230 million metric ton. If we take the case of Maharashtra, sir, the Maharashtra, as I understand, it is highly rich in moong, tur, soybean, groundnut, cotton, maize, and of course rice and sugarcane. The numbers which I could gather is the gross cropped area in Maharashtra is around 225 lakh hectare and the net cropped area is 174 lakh hectare. As per the estimate, over 86 million metric ton of crop production is there in Maharashtra, out of which 52 million metric ton is the biomass. And from that biomass, because we all understand that biomass also are utilized for different purposes, be it for fodder, be it for hatching, be it for domestic cooking, be it for heating, be it for heating and cogeneration in sugar mills. So leaving that apart, even this 21 million metric ton of surplus biomass is available as per the estimated figure. Now, if we take the total power generation capacity of Maharashtra around approximately 25,000 metric ton. So with 7% co-firing, it would require 6.5 million metric ton per annum of biomass pellet. That means 9 million metric ton of raw biomass. Again, please consider that with the surplus biomass quantity of 21 million metric ton. Now, this untapped potential of generating power from biomass can be an effective means for reducing carbon footprint, at the same time improving livelihood and revenue generation for the farmers or small entrepreneurs. I request that I can propose that in this regard, state can also take sufficient measures in collection, aggregation of surplus biomass and convert it to the pellet and briquette. If we take the quantity required of pellet per day, it is approximately 15,000 ton per day. And in Maharashtra, the approximate capacity today of pellet generation is slightly over 1000 TPD only. But out of this 15,000 TPD, I think the tendering or the process for procurement is yet to be done for a major quantity. The NTPC has carried out the tendering process of approximately 1700 to 1800 TPD, which is required for their two plants. But for Mahagenco, it is approximately 5,000 TPD tons per day. For IPP, it is 8,000 TPD. So I would request that Mahagenco and also the IPPs to come forward for going ahead with that much quantum of procurement and going ahead with the co-firing. The result of biomass co-firing in the country is so far encouraging. More than 1 lakh metric ton of biomass has been co-fired so far, and roughly that leads to 1.25 lakh metric ton of carbon dioxide footprint reduction from the existing thermal power plants. 44 power stations in the country have co-fired this much quantum of biomass. In fact, 2 numbers of power stations have been added just day before yesterday by West Bengal Generating Company. Total purchase order placed for this pellet is 47 lakh metric ton across the country, and the tendering for all these 52 power stations which have been carrying this forward are approximately 1100 lakh metric ton. So we can consider, we can add this figure easily if all the GENCOs and all the IPPs can participate. Our mission has taken some of the steps for enabling the pellet manufacturers also. One is, of course, priority sector lending scheme by RBI, which has been issued to all the guidelines issued to all the government, nationalized banks. Provision of biomass pellet procurement through GEM portal has been done. The financial schemes, we have been taking up financial schemes with banks. I believe the State Bank representative is there and they are going to show their loan scheme for this particular case. The single window clearance for pilot plant setup is in the final stage and it may be issued very shortly. And financial grant scheme for setting up a pellet plant has also been issued by MNRE and CPCB. So these are some of the steps which have been taken so far. Actually, this mission, we are trying to function like a bridge between the stakeholders, that is farmers, suppliers and manufacturers, and sharing the knowledge. That's why I was talking about these awareness programs. And of course, we have got our website where different kind of relevant information for all the stakeholders are there. I would like to address finally the one very important stakeholders, that is the farmers. फार्मर्स के लिए मुझे यही कहना है, फार्मर्स और फार्मर प्रोड्यूसर्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के लिए, कि आप लोग जमीन से बहुत ज़्यादा जुड़े हुए हैं. तो आप जो अपना एंड पे जो आपका फील्ड है, जिस फील्ड में आपका ये बायोमास प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है, उस फील्ड से जो बायोमास प्रोड्यूस होता है उसको आप सही तरह से इकोनॉमिकली एंड फ्रूटफुली यूज कर सकते हैं. आप अपना एंड में ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, एफपीओज, आई बिलीव ये महाराष्ट्र में है, एफपीओज या फार्मर प्रोड्यूसिंग कंपनीज कर सकते हैं, या अपना एक कोऑपरेटिव बना के भी इसका जो कलेक्शन एग्रीगेशन मैकेनिज्म, क्योंकि हम लोग बोल रहे थे कि इसका सोर्स अवेलेबल है, इसका डिमांड अवेलेबल है, बट बीच में मेल नहीं हो रहा है. तो इसके लिए फार्मर्स लोगों को मैं ये रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आप लोग इसमें आगे आके अपना एंड पे कोऑपरेटिव भी गठन करके उससे आप कलेक्शन एग्रीगेशन का अरेंजमेंट कर सकते हैं और उसमें प्लांट, इवन बायोमास पेलेट प्लांट लगा के भी आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. इसमें आपका बहुत तरह का फायदा होगा. एक तो आपका इनकम जनरेशन होगा, आपके लिए आपका जमीन का, जिस जमीन के आपका अगर स्टबल बर्निंग हो रहा है उस पर आपका जमीन का उपज भी खराब हो जा रहा है, तो उसको आप अवॉइड कर सकते हैं और साथ साथ आपके लिए एक नया आय का स्रोत बना सकते हैं. और साथ साथ मैं ये भी विश्वास करता हूं कि महाराष्ट्र का जो फार्मर्स है ये आप लोग बहुत आधुनिक है, बहुत मॉडर्न है, आपका जो सोच है वो भी नया तरीका का सोच है. तो आप लोग ये चाहेंगे कि हम लोग नया टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करके इसमें आगे आए और आपका जो जिम्मेदारी है ये एनवायरनमेंट को अच्छा करना, ये जिम्मेदारी भी आप आपके अच्छी तरह से निभाएंगे. I believe that this particular workshop which has been organized by Mahagenco, I am going through the agenda. this will provide a great opportunity for these pellet manufacturers, GenCos and the farmers to understand the requirement of this biomass co-firing. And we can take this opportunity to reaffirm, to carry out our work together, to carry forward the use of biomass. And I think by this way, we can fulfill our responsibility for the next generation to offer them a clean and green environment. मैं अगेन मला क्षमा करे कि मैं मराठी बोलू नहीं सकत. थैंक यू फॉर पेशेंटली लिसनिंग मी वन एंड ऑल. सर्वांना धन्यवाद.